Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity to thank His Excellency the President for the message on the state of the nation that he has just delivered. Mr. Speaker, I need to remind you that the people of Ghana have already given their verdict on the true state of the nation. And that verdict was very, very clear. Economic hardship, huge debt overhang, high youth unemployment, hopelessness, and more.
And you are thanking him for this.
We have come to the end of the road for what has been undoubtedly the worst government under the Fourth Republic. Mr. Speaker, this abysmal record was confirmed on December 7th when the people of Ghana returned the most overwhelming and emphatic vote of rejection of any government ever witnessed under the Fourth Republic. Mr. President, you will be remembered as the first president who was cushioned by the IMF when you began, and you are still being cushioned at the end of your term. Mr. President, you left something very important in your account. You left out an account of your promise to God to build him a cathedral. But Mr. President, Mr. President, I will leave that for you, between you and your God. Mr. President, let me remind His Excellency, Mr. Speaker, that his tenure in office will remain a timely reminder of how not to govern the country. But let me also be quick to assure the good people of Ghana that hope is on its way. And President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC, we can once again glean a brighter future from the throes of despair. Together we will work hard to lift ourselves from this historic low and reclaim our place, our glory as the Black Star of Africa once again. Fellow Ghanaians, we are comforted and strengthened by the following words of Scripture. And I'm quoting Exodus chapter 14, verse 13. And I quote, "And Moses said unto the people, Fear you not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show you today. For the Egyptians whom you have seen today, you shall see them no more." Bye-bye, Mr. President. It is finished. With that, Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much.
All right, for this is the debate with Munufi Mujidi say Ubia Hon Eye, and then so Yasiaba, Yababa Ghana, Jumana, NPP party Nidia, Sawakase Udio Machia, every blessed day. Or maybe the opportunity to doubt to say if they are actually a political party in Ghana, or ma Gene say, or more bois, ama Ghana, Akoso, and as on Babe Bo Ghana from. That is what we're going to discuss today. Midi anyway Munufi Amam Kona say nene da you can wear this particular channel. You can like it so that others will also get to know about the channel. That is something we are going to discuss today. Now, before you shall see no. Epacho kai honorable KT Hammond. KT Hammond. And maybe a term I can say me tia Ghana, the youth of Ghana. KT Hammond I can say be editia ye youth of Ghana. Epacho yenti nsema KT Hammond ekaye.
Nantia no mabunu na amaye ina no mona debia ye beka kire. Debia meka asamba na yesi ye kwakapa ye ya yesi ye kwakohu abrewa. Yanka se ye kohu mono no na muguo na muti aye ye se nkube na muguo no. Nyamo na yesi ye kohu mu yesi ye kwakohu abrewa. Abrewa no eye panin ya wanyina nyini ya bibi wodi tiri ye kwakohu no. Musu mpedifo wo kuro mu nyina na mo de won apon na amaye ina no mona debia ye beka kire. Debia meka asamba na yesi ye kwakapa ye ya yesi ye kwakohu abrewa. Yanka say ye go hu mono na muguo na muti aye ye say gube na muguo no. Nyamu ne ye say ye go hu mu. Ye say ye go hu abrewa. Abrewa no eye opani. Ya wan nyini ya bibi wodi tiri ye go hu no. Mo so mpeni wo kuro mu nyina na mo de their policies nti.
All right, then KT Hammond ehwe Ghanaian youth anim eka kire yen say si asemba ne se ekwa ka se ekwa akopɛ nkyiremu a ye se ekwa akohu aberwa ne obi adwen wo ne tim na enye youth na muti aye se kube a adwen bia ne mutim enye mo masem ne ye ka. Little did he know say a youth nso ene to aba emani ko wura parliament when he got the opportunity no ofre youth ni say munni adwen bia wo muti etise kube. A member of parliament etina TV so all can say we not a parliament dan no parliament a youth and a to aba ko wura ho no e ka kire youth ni say muti etise kube adwen bia nim. These were the words of KT Hammond. Na papa e kwa abato so no olusi aba no close to 1,000 votes. I think said 900 and something votes. Close to 1,000 votes. I said no honto no. E wa dance ho. Opagya asem na court sometime. Na asem e say KT Hammond na was youth ti adwen bia anim no. Not knowing say ono court ho na adwen ni team to nkita document. Enti KT Hammond na ono akọ find challenges e wo kwai court no. Saki the paper kore say na bi nkita no. Afei de KT Hammond akọ challenge NDC candidate ya owene no. Ye frese KT and a court dash why ye kwai say my lord KT Hammond is absent. Why? He is preparing his documents. Na court to asheda. Next time ye kwa honorable my lord KT Hammond is not ready. Obi ono dey asema court no. Ono so on preparing documents nwie. Course abe 3 times. And no na court say madam for are you serious at all? Wow, catch the Ghana youth to say omo adwebie no muti se kube huro kwahwe nim no. How can you come to court? Abera was unkita document bia. Sebe general mosquito na kan say kwase bia timi court. Not true say the same thing na KT Hammond so e dey copy court them all because MPP party ni there.
Jimmy for party jawo.
Enti afei the court here KT Hammond nim din no say madam for take your papers away. Say we need paper bia de ba ha. We dey fa 2 fee na no ye na mom he. Enti court assign the car 60,000 Ghana cedis at what KT Hammond to say on fan ko dwen ho. Now we are panyin as out mu. Na answer na be court them no. Make sure say you prepare your documents very very well. And sorry kwa enka say about to ekoye no. Malusi na mentia senti I'm going to challenge about on e court. Abra wan ka say wonim say na won kita sakri paper kora de court ho. Enti KT Hammond na ohia memeni wanim to di atem say be youth ye titi kube adwen bia nim no. No to so no mo oluma na niti nyina fufu a apa no. Sebe.
Jimmy for party jawo.
Say na adwen bia nim ditim. KT Hammond odi atem no. E asem abusafo Ghana.
Nantie no maburu na amaye ina no mo na de bia ye beka kire. De bia meka asamba na ye se ye koka pa ye ya ye se ye kwa kohu abrewa. Yanka say ye go hu mono na muguo na muti aye ye se gube na muguo no. Nyamu ne ye se
enti answer KT Hammond ma Ghanaian youth research asamba na ye se kohu abrewa. Yanka asem mono ma motete wa muti atie kube adwen bia nim mutim no. So the question is say KT Hammond wa wuti na adwen wo no. E dey potin e dey ko court na unkita paper. Wakwa abato why a member of parliament what the minister paying. Wakwa abato wa lucy. Also won tia say wa lucy. Not knowing say wo court na okono. Unkita hwe. He was just going there. On NPP party the way they don't respect Ghanaians. And to a Ghana ni na say wa dwen who see NPP party so kese you have to understand say they do not respect you. Because KT Hammond doesn't respect the youth of Ghana. He doesn't even respect the rules and principles of Ghana. Because who won't even file election petition and go high court. You are just going to waste the court's time. And the court decision by and say KT Hammond just came to the court to waste the time of the court. The precious time he just went there to waste the time of the court without any proof, any character. He just went there because he thought say na NPP bury any amana makwadan osono maame betre ha yakwadan asem no. That is the reason why KT Hammond actually went there. Now when BB and so when I talk about the respect for Ghana and Ghanaians me do baby wura parliament dinum actually onima bia na course of parliament dem one who say and NPP party na target President John Dramani Mahama and starting now the respect for Ghanaians. I am taking you onto the floor of parliament. Actually, the speaker of parliament Speaker Baben. Yankove adia na esla. Owusu person the Speaker of Parliament. And so wow, you're a chairman sabonsu so did the same thing called Parliament. Mimi nimkuran me kaise. Katie Hammond was being a member of Parliament and edu time bia na ne mpeso aso 4% to abeti anunti ma Speaker Baben kura koye campaign e ma Katie e dey say chairman sabonsu e won mpeso aso e wo so ameho. Speaker of Parliament or NDC, you know, had to step in and campaign for a downfall. You're right, Chairman Sabonsu, because Speaker Baben a downfall party Chairman Sabonsu. But according to Speaker Baben, no, say one mayor speaker, no name says Sana Chairman Sabonsu, and you're downfall no. Later did he know say now and then name na Chairman Sabonsu didn't respect him. But you Esla Usu prayer now calling Speaker of Parliament, on the floor of Parliament. The respect NPP for any NDC for. Sometimes in the this particular footage.
No idea what we are debating in this house today. There is nothing before the house. So, as you indicated to the minister that we are not yet there, I was of the opinion that you would tell the colleagues on the other side that there's nothing before us. I have no idea what the references are being made.
Were you here from the very beginning?
My understanding is that...
Were you here from the very beginning?
No, I've been here since morning.
Please, you've been here since morning?
I've been here since morning. I've been here from the very beginning. Today, I was
so
here
why did you say
when
no?
The prayers were being
if you were
said.
Here, why did you say no?
I have been here all morning. I had no idea what you meant by the very beginning. But I have been here. I was here before you entered the chamber. I was here for prayers. I have been here throughout.
Minister, do you really listen to yourself when you are talking?
Yes, I do. I weigh my words very carefully before I speak.
If you were here from the very beginning before we started, and I asked you, were you here from the very beginning? You said no. Then you continue. And now you are telling me you were here even before I entered.
Yes, Mr. Speaker,
yes,
I've been
so
here
it meant that
before
you were not listening to yourself.
I had no idea what you meant by very beginning. I haven't been here this week. This is my first time I'm appearing in the House this week. I've been here since the beginning of proceedings today. And I do listen to myself very carefully and weigh my words carefully before I speak. You don't think so? You are entitled to your opinion. But I beg to differ.
Honorable Minister, this is not the Ministry of Communications. This is Parliament.
I'm very well aware of that, sir.
Resume your seat.
Wow, how Esla Osu was communicating to the Speaker of Parliament. I say, Sabi Obi Wanya Kwalabia, Onya Kwalana Ekasa. She was on the floor of Parliament, meaning Esla Osu was being a minister and a member of Parliament and did not even respect Speaker Baben. NPP, for that is how they've been playing in Ghana. But later the Ghanaians know Ghana for instance anyway from how they operate. They think that Ghana belongs to them. Imagine say school ni akwala ko jine school dem krano. No ni teacher ni ekasa how Esla Osu is talking to the Speaker of Parliament or was talking to the Speaker of Parliament. Look at how a speaker can say no then we be say or said meaning what the Speaker was even communicating to her and she wasn't even listening. Sana NPP for Omoti or Ghana, how they believe everything is for them. Sometimes when we Ghanaians and say, "Yansheni Mabinswa," you uncrophobia or Ghana, they'll be playing with the minds of Ghanaians and then think that we are all fools. Wow, when NPP ni be jina no on respected President John Dramani Mahama, enye na na say estati yache. We are the floor of the house. No kwa some member of Parliament no trans did trust President Mahama achata jet e de tukwan no ye kwakwa how or no we lawyer no ogina on the floor of Parliament eguni ho anim ase e pacho yes la ozu nko madiki aka say Speaker Baben abra o me speaker na Ghana na o NDC ni die ba ne yonko pa na Ghana ni bia nim no e ye Ewura Chairman Sabonsu former member of Parliament na odi Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bomi achi no obi anim say Speaker Baben yonko pa no makase Edumire bi ne ho kyere to the sense that the constituents wanted to vote against him, but Speaker Barbin echo the constituency go echo campaign man say we needed Chairman Bunzumo on the floor of Parliament because he's experienced. Maybe to say I'm a Peketi Amwasem because the way when he was on the floor of Parliament, no to me articulating until the Speaker of Parliament Barbin, Parliament Speaker of Parliament, a whole Keti Amosho and say, "Oh, I don't respect you. I don't respect you." Not doing the Speaker, Ashen. He stood on the floor of Parliament. He said, "Oh, good Speaker." Then the Speaker had to put him on the right. Hey, Madam, who are you? Pacho NTA.
Even when you were the Deputy Speaker, you were insistent.
The posture and the language of Chairman Zambonsu, and then the comment how or Kasa or Tianti, Speaker of Parliament, a member of Parliament Kekeu, how on the Speaker Kasa. That is why I want you to take very good notice of. That is the same thing they want to do to the president of the land. That is exactly the same thing they want to do.
Even when you were the Deputy Speaker, you were insistent that members speak from their seats so that you'll be able to identify them. What I noticed is that you gather steam to make that pronouncement, and yet, as the day wears on, you relax the rules. I will encourage you to be consistent with this, so that everybody will speak from his seat, his or his seat. That it should not be relaxed. I will encourage you to do that. I will. But I want you to take this on board. Don't relax it. Don't relax
it. Just watch. Just watch him very, very carefully. How he is communicating to the Speaker of Parliament. Just watch him. It's so sad. Very, 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 very sad.
Honorable Majority Leader, the business of government is led by you in this house. You don't lead Parliament. You lead the business of the house. You lead the majority, and you lead government business. As to the role of the Speaker, you haven't reached there yet. When you get there, you do so. Please, you've been my very good friend for all these years, until I became Speaker. And everybody in Ghana is doubting whether you were really my friend. I received a lot of calls about that. And I said, you are my friend, and you are still my friend, but people are doubting it. Please, don't give credence to that doubt. Respectfully, I have not been your friend until you became the Speaker. You and I know that we are still friends. But we agree to disagree. We agree to disagree. Mr. Speaker, and with respect, majority leaders don't only act as leaders of the majority caucus, and also when their government, their party is in power, as leaders of government business. A majority leader is a leader of the house. I stated it. Thank you very much. I stated it. But you are not the leader of the Speaker. It looks like you are my former friend now. Before I hear you always on air disagreeing with me and so vehement that people are doubting, is this really my friend? So I'm just drawing your attention. If you want to continue to be my friend, then you know the proper thing to do. If I want to be your friend, or if you want to be my friend, it's mutual. It's mutual. You have to be my friend, not me being your friend. At least I have a position in Ghana. Number 3. What is your number?
All right, then one will say how Chairman Sabos was pushing Speaker now. And then the man Speaker beside and say, Oba Ghana constitution na me na me number 3. Wo position ne dey. Wo dey ne dey. And are you sure say you are really my friend? Because me be a speaker, no. Everybody in Ghana knew say you were my friend, but me be a speaker, you know. Who post your attitude and how you criticize me and talk ill against me on television and on TV. I'm a man for a friend. Me be say, oh yeah, sure, say we are madam for. Meaning, means about whilst even being the friend of the speaker, he did not trust or he does not respect the speaker. NPP for that is how they operate. Aside to obey NPP, they don't respect you and they don't regard you. And they want to make the country ungovernable. So we are Ghana here. We need to take good notice of these kind of people or all these kind of things in our society. Because you see a chichire mind, you have so many things in the chichire mind. That is the same reason why parliament for no, did throw the good president and also because he does not even respect the president. How on earth will somebody go on the floor of parliament and as a TV and say for say president at the private jet at Tukai? Your point teacher and say the president flew on commercial aircraft or not as a member of parliament and say private jet in a 2 free Ghana and Yanchi and Nipa or team. I say this is common sense. Why do we call this private jet? If somebody is flying his or her private jet, what's see private jet to be a Ghana Yanchi or Nipa or team? Sa kwa no kujina parliament. Yeah, we are there and Nimgwasia speaker Edigun our parliament. Totally disgraced. We a lawyer nimuya. Akwatena parliament demu. Okasati say sabi obi opie hwibaro. Pacho yentieno. And Nimgwasia totally disgraced himself on the floor of parliament. But speaker chair and the level say madam for sit down and shut up. We demand their way and answer there. Do you think say we are here to joke? Pacho, let's watch him.
Yes, I remember you have the floor. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Minister, I would want to confirm from you, and maybe for purposes of education, you indicated to us that the national security secured a search warrant. May you educate me the scope of the search warrant, if it is inclusive of searching phrases of persons, if it is inclusive of.
Wow. What the team question baby so oh yeah lawyer ni NPP for nkwa na minim baby am call law school so omo wie wo mo dan mo so omo wie ohim I have no idea. Akwa we na gina no he is doubting the president. Say president obi who say president air fly commercial aircraft no. Ono person say president Jimmy to the sense say he the president will fly a commercial aircraft but rather na obama na nkwala mum na for private jet. Sa akwa we o. What the team
of searching phrases of persons, if a search warrant. May you educate me the scope of the search warrant, if it is inclusive of searching phrases of persons, if it is inclusive of searching phrases of persons. I want to understand the scope of such a search. Thank you.
Your question is whether or not the search warrant includes searching what? But if you are a lawyer, you've seen a search warrant before. Does the search warrant specify that you search the pocket or what?
Mr. Speaker, I think this is unfair. Mr. Speaker, it's a direct question that is addressed to the minister. I want to understand the scope, the particular search warrant that he got. Is it inclusive of the searching phrases of persons? That is the question I'm asking. So you should just let me know that maybe
that is why you see, Honorable Assafuah, if this question were to be coming from a non-lawyer, but you have seen a copy of a search warrant before. If a warrant is issued to search your house, the warrant will not specify whether they should search pocket of all your searches, your pocket, your fridge, your kitchen, or is that the content of the warrant? Please, if you have another question, ask.
Speaker say, Madam Fo, who are some for can yes at that tenase? we a lawyer nimu what will search warrant pay Obejina parliament say search warrant and specify the search of free gym abra won so ye lawyer members of parliament of NPP they don't even respect themselves let alone respecting authorities in the country. Akwawe in the Beijing was a president of the commercial aircraft at Tukain, Wamana entourage at the private jet. Initially, he says the president of the private jet in Tukain. When it was proven to him that the president flew a commercial aircraft, no, so Wamana entourage and they call meaning the president is so stupid. Say, or no president, no, but fly commercial aircraft, but Beman and Kuala Mumade private jet. Ako. You push in, I was saying, na private jet in Ghana, Yan Children in Pakura Mutim. Common sense, this stupid person. Within a terms of where you be at them. Private jet, will be the private jet, a basic Ghana, Wosi and Children Nipa, or the private jet, the member of parliament, what do you know? He doesn't even know it's a private jet, and any person here can fly a private jet. But this person can only become a member of parliament through NPP onto parliament, and then from nowhere, but Ashanti region. Common sense, Sharon say, and respect for Ghana and Ghanaians and anyhow. They don't even respect authorities. Because if somebody respects president, on to me, Genesis Pearson can't say president, Afro commercial aircraft, but our man and Kuala Mumin Afro private jet. And this year, common sense. Just he doesn't even respect the president. Kenneth, shall we have a call there? That's it, Kenneth David. So NPP, for that is a modus operandi. They don't even respect NDC. Look at how President John Dramani Mahama is developing the country. And some president ko jina Japan and waka. We are going near tea. We never be too wide mu. Pacho yanjin chiremu. Every abai panyi ho say president at the presidential jet and a koye. And now say offer private jet chire woman yanti say fellows of Fusukachi Eden Chiremu ebe mama ni wina but you ntini ni improving chire sa member of parliament we say or a lawyer ni be nim da o call law school babru we law school because na adwen e wo form
nti edi kan walk us through. I mean we knew say Mufri has Sunday and Yumre, but we realized say Enra Anopa, which is Tuesday morning, mum, and Amuko drew Japan. Why? What happened? On Mampenny, Ejna baby, for baby, Anna.
Yobi, I see the say, Enkomodi Abba, a woman, Pena Quinto, le fiber, now, what can you now, Buma? As a certain desperate attempt by MPP Amani Ukuru. Say, a memo bonia on the buya. Na, the move and do no, a physical segment, a year, wasteful expenditure. The movie a cassetia, Ghana for cassetia, and ya drink to a bit here, woman. And a more person more pair, quando so far. Eddie, yes, dear, no, or more, ye, and now some prono, as I say. Yakaseti as any yenti. Aquafa and which should be Eddie Abram and Penny on a quaint woman. A Shafiesi, a Samoa, a year Vincent Assafuah year MP for Tafo. Eddie Betuga, na Enyanokre, and Ra, Minyan in theatre, while confront no to set the record street. And no, I knew Jumano. And now. Abeton from him, and before be any even some media persons and I'm no more. So, young NDC for young far a chop Pamra because of the criticism be leveled against Akufo-Addo. Now, said the young quarter jet, and I see any beautiful for Emma or Mampenia Quintu. That is the summary of Incomodia Ecoso. No clear woman say Sancomodio, and then no clear a boy bra. The first point, they say, a year aircraft, and I say, or I'm penning area Michelle Comedy, and yet honorable a black and the shares and Comodina so Ghana Bacosini. What will you do when you take a At least you are in your early 40s.
Yes.
As far back as the late 90s, President Rollins are buying a quarter of Gulfstream through a special purpose vehicle arrangement. Saban on HSBC Bank. A year, you know. A year, you say, man, penny, etumo and some. I be some Ghana. At the time, now, on young for Hakman, Uswajiman, on any ranking member of foreign affairs. Almost a rich year, running Saban the day, say, or Pato Gulf Stream, send a man penny to be took. In fact, I don't see Abra MP before Barbemu 2001. I'm for all the 8 years of baby or man was one to not go to more that. Because first, almost a say and number two, they were even claiming said because of the special purpose vehicle arrangement through Galilee, you know, but you I thought you know, assigned to a committee chaired by the late J.H. Mensah, and that's our time foreign minister, Ononya for Sapumafu, and then presidential spokesman, Cabinet Japon. Ayer Benders, say almost share God's stream, Mentoring and some. Interestingly, Omen Hushi, so many people because not Bonia Bianco. And you know, towards the tail end of the Kufa decision, almost on South Stream, no, adequate simulated for China. And what I'm saying, between 2010 and 2011, our President Mills are buying a year, say, or top. If you send him Ghana, Assafuah, my Embraer, lay 100-seater jets for Ghana Armed Forces, Air Force, and other aircraft to be. Okay, they are empty before you. In fact, I mean, you know, almost the actual some aircraft the two President Mahama so say President Mills investigating. So okay.
Yes.
For corruption. And I'm They opposed it vigorously. In Parliament.
Yeah, because I think I don't know when Honorable Martin Amidun raised it the first time. No, Martin Amidun, one of his epistles.
Martin Amidun never spoke about any investigation of Mahama. But before the draw for several years on that matter. I'm tracing this to let you know. Say, Omampenia went to an area to the day, you know, it didn't start with Honorable Black MP before person. This is the history of the MPP as far as presidential aircraft, and in fact, the general purchase of aircraft for Ghana is concerned. So, I know that Kenya, somewhere between 2021 to 2023, and the two that say, Omampeni Akufo-Addo or renting aircraft via the border was through. So, I'm not sure movie my indeed. In Tia, Science started somewhere in 2018. Now or rentals are aircraft. No? The mere rental of aircraft can be some. Of course, if you can show say presidential jet, no, and what to chima. Now we get alternative arrangement and can no problem. There are two options. Either so they call commercial, and I say over rented aircraft. Now in the rental, you go for an optional, but you say functional, safe, but no one needs to affect the public purse, especially at the time there was severe economic crisis. A Binance to the catch Ghana for no more bond the Bosnia bondholders 1.3 million. So, oh, yes, you cannot, as a president, in the face of this, go for extravagant aircraft. That was the point. Now, Honorable Ablakwa all the time. Indeed, at the time, they hadn't even told us that there was a problem with the presidential aircraft until said Honorable need to about Parliament. They can't. And that can't. So, some penny guy. So Ghana righteously condemned the Akufo-Addo administration for extravagance. Omampeni Mahama, 2013 to 2017, there were periods now there were problems with the presidential jets. One rented that kind of expensive aircraft. Indeed, Maka or program is so that let's repeat it. So there was a time Omampeni Mahama to find out now economy from Lufthansa, Germany to Accra. None of flight movie, so I know.
Meaning, sir, yes. Acquiring a new presidential jet, no, is not off the table completely.
Oh, it can never be off the table. Now, sir, at the beginning of this conversation, we can see the history of presidential jets.
Absolutely.
Fact, it even goes back to the some point in time. Our cut off for 27, for 28, and then he was flying coffee. So, okay. In the mid-90s, it became a huge issue. Indeed, on one or two occasions, there were some scares for the president. I think President Rollins at the time when he sat in the FOCA, 28. 2027. I recall say even as recently as 2011, 2012, the Fokker 28 was still flying. Maximum the Akokuma said that when I was in government. So it can never be off the table, except that when you get to the point of making that decision now, you consider all factors in terms of cost-benefit analysis. That is not what the Akufo-Addo government did. They didn't choose the cost-effective approach. They chose extravagance. Indeed, Abra Honorable could 2 years science position. So the pictures now at the bar, authentic. I want to come once somebody there. We also said, no, this is a bit too lavish. The cost is too much. If I make actually analogy, say, there are cars that sell for $400,000, and they will be so 100,000. It is 80,000. It will have rent and which is so. Now, won't you your bus is now for top $400,000 car? People will definitely criticize you.
But on the evidence of what has happened almost 8 months into this new government, about the Falcon, say a call for repairs near who corrosion been ade. Wouldn't it ground the fact, say, comments made about the Falcon being in pristine condition, fit for purpose, were not factually true at the time they were made? At the time,
it was fit for purpose. Oh, the massacre, let me repeat it again. And me, in the first 2-3 months, Martina presidential aircraft 3 times to 3 different countries. Otherwise, the Air Force will never permit the president to sit in it.
Okay, in the meaning, says,
but it doesn't mean subsequently, if you detect, say, Chimatobia Abahua, don't address it. In fact, we should be a witchy. Meaning, for an affair, and I'm autonomy. But me assure that between the time I was told and it would have given you problems before.
Yes.
You will fix that could be a battery and now starter. Once in a while, the engine may give you a fault, but you will fix it. A time will come because okay, baby, a bread. If I do a cost benefit analysis, I'm a top of a double into my main tone way, my main is also on top of it. You can do that. But at the point where you needed it, it took you where you wanted to go and back. You have to consider your finances, the state of the economy, whether you are able to afford.
All right, enti Felix Ofosu-Kwakye edin chiremu bebre aba. A lot of things in a Felix Ofosu-Kwakye kai. But I want us to go back into history. Now, some Felix Ofosu-Kwakye kai no menchire ebi. One, or say the argument is say Okudjeta Blakwa ene started presidential jet debate or Ghana no enye no kre. It started in the 90s ampa. They don't call publications in the 90s or all African publications. But you look at the date here, 1999. Ghana presidential jet leased or purchased. I did a lot of research. That is why I'm presenting this kind of data to you. Abraham Rawlings, under the leadership of Rawlings, yes, Okoto presidential jet, there was this argument as to say, Okolisi and Okotoe. And then NP before the year campaign massively in 1999. Wow, you can also grow and cross-check data where I made that talk on because every day, when on this particular show, I present data, Detroit. The data never, you make your own informed decisions. Masai de Wakobium, Rawlings jet in trouble. Modern Ghana publication. All these are there, 1999. Opa, mamenka kakra ni nyina yenhwe ade. Let me make it a bit bigger. Send a beya wa ohwe me no won ka say ebia me na me di toro. Because in seven papa kan and bi na me pese nyina e cross check. In the front page banner headline story, the guide says the Minister of Finance, Kwame Pepra, is exposing further the shady circumstances surrounding the purchase of a presidential jet for President J.J. Rawlings. The paper says 2 months after the minister told Ghanaians that the jet was leased from Wings Aviation Incorporation of the United States, he has turned around 360 degrees to say the Gulfstream 3 aircraft with the state-of-the-art technology was leased from a company called Garland Limited, an affiliated of HSBC. But this is except of the news now. The guide purported to say Kwame Pepra, then finance minister, NKI. NP before decided to twist issue and they were twisting it. This is 1999 publication. Let me continue again. Omoma said arguments were concerning presidential jets and it was through 2022. Ghana, whose jet? Pepra, Rawlings, or Ghana? NP before then told Ghanaians to say presidential jet in the Rollins akotono, Rollins in Ankasa na akotafa. Some they were even saying Kwame Pepra, the finance minister then, and akoto jet or the Ghana tika and akoto jet in afa. But this is data. Data Juma and I'm a media Juma. I don't present false anything here. We see NPP near. Ask them this kind of questions. Say, were you not the same people who started these arguments in the 90s and early 2000s? Why are you here saying, say, hey, you could get a black and start this hard way? NPP for
Jimmy for party job. What's
your NPP again?
A Jimmy for party.
A Jimmy for party in the unknown yet in Dodo.
Oh, me, President Kufuor when you cross Anna Becala.
Now, Jimmy for party now, Bulgaria, also your NPP Nino.
Oh, now some resume Jimmy.
So what I say? It's NPP for almost started his argument to any concern as a president of aircraft, and they are the same people saying here they have no idea about it, but rather an NDC4 and a cost started because Ukujeta Black started the same thing or more, with documentation proof on how they plague the politics in Ghana. But this document, and that's you can also go and cross-check 2002 documents, and I'm going to go back into history to bring it and present it to you for you to know the kind of people we are playing with in Ghana. NPP party no do omachia the bia obenya problem. Na muni masema yesere. President John Dramani Mahama abwa Japanese businessmen ton Ghana the mom. Me no be kwa everything the president said. So what da jenkwada. Let's take our time on this particular channel. And then boy ko say we here. Now fedi say who we are. You ask yourself say is the president on the right track or not? So I'm taking you straight to Japan. President John Dramani Mahama is a businessman in Japan. And semi president Enomo kind. But you take your time and let's watch the video together. Who we are, you might understand everything I'm going to say here.
So, ladies and gentlemen, without taking much of your time, shall we please invite to His Excellency the podium, the President of the Republic of Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, please be seated. Sorry. Thank you very much, and good morning to all of you. Let me thank Simon for that very comprehensive presentation of the opportunities that our country has to offer. And I wonder whether after Simon is necessary for me to even speak. You marketed our country, quite efficiently than anybody can be able to do. But let me just say, the question is, why would you want to invest in a country like Ghana? We're open for business, and Simon and Co are busy at work reviewing the Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act. Some barriers were put to foreign investment. You had to prove that you had brought in a certain amount of money to be classified as a foreign investor. In the reviewed Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act, we're removing those minimal capital investments. This will enable any investor, however little money you have, $100,000, $50,000, to be able to come in and set up a business in Ghana. And not only to do with the economic opportunities, but that Ghana is a stable, democratic, business-friendly gateway to West Africa and the continent. And like you said, we have a growing consumer market with improving macroeconomic fundamentals, clear reforms to lower the cost of doing business, and abundant opportunities for technology transfer. And the thing is, what does Ghana have to offer? Strategic geographical location. Ghana is a country through which the meridian and the equator intersect. The two intersect in Ghana's territory, just a few kilometers off our shore. And it's also the host country for the African Continental Free Trade Area. You all have heard the landmark
protocol that was signed by African countries. So far, almost 50 African countries have signed that allow us to export duty-free, tariff-free into each other's markets. Increasing numbers of products are being registered. And once you register your product and it meets all the standards, you can export duty-free and tariff-free into each other's markets. And as you were told, the sub-regional market, which is West Africa, is 400 million people. Ghana is 33 million people. And the continental market is 1.4 billion people. And so with the vehicle of the African Continental Free Trade Area, you potentially can export into 1.4 billion market. Simon said it, we are re-establishing macro stability and growth momentum of the economy. Inflation rose to a high of almost 23% in 2024 and is currently down to 13.7%. And we expect that by the end of the year to hit single digit. And it's also, our cedi has stabilized. For those of you who know the history of the Ghanaian cedi, it's been one of the most volatile currencies in Africa. And a few years back, we were said to be the worst performing currency. I'm happy to announce that this year, Ghana cedi has been the best performing currency in the world. And as Simon said, we've been upgraded from junk status to B- with a stable outlook. And I'm certain that in the next review, we're going to be upgraded again. Again, we have a track record for hosting Japanese companies. And as you saw from the list there by Madam Jethro, Executive Vice President, the number of Japanese companies that are operating in Ghana is significant, and we're expecting that that should expand. From Simon's presentation, he told you about $152 million has been invested over the last few decades. We believe that there is growth room for improvement and expanded investment from Japan. We're moving just not only from overseas development assistance, but we're moving to trade and investment. And the private sector will be that engine of growth. And so trade between our two countries grew by over 24% from 2020 to 2024. That is quite a significant jump. Priority sectors, Simon mentioned, Japan has a comparative advantage when it comes to automobile manufacturing. And like I said, using the opportunity to be able to export into not only our sub-region but into Africa, then Ghana becomes a good place for local assembly of automotive products. And already we have Japanese companies that are based in Ghana and assembling for the local market and also for exporting to the sub-region. Brands like Toyota, the Honda is there, and several other ones. He mentioned the area of agribusiness and agro-processing. Of course, that is one of the main focus in terms of economic transformation. Ghana has a comparative advantage when it comes to agriculture and agribusiness, in terms of available arable lands, in terms of sunshine, in terms of water. We have the world's largest man-made lake. It's one of the things we were taught in school, the Volta Lake. And our first president had quite a good dream about what he wanted to do with that lake. And we're going to capture that in what I talk about when I talk about the Volta Economic Corridor. We have millions of hectares of land that border that huge lake. And the water can be used to bring about 2 million hectares of land under irrigation. But also we intend to establish industrial parks, so that we can process agri-products. We can invest in textile manufacture for export into the EU markets, into the American markets, and other places. Fortunately, we got slapped with only a 15% tariff by President Trump. And so Ghana is still competitive when it comes to exporting into the American market. And so, like I said, the economic corridor would include manufacturing and industrial parks. And we already have 2 industrial parks. We have the Free Zones Enclave. We have the Tema Industrial Park. But there's a new one that has come up, which is the Dawa Industrial Park. And already the anchor tenants have built and are producing, and several other companies are setting up for producing in Ghana and exporting into the African and foreign market. One of the major areas, growth areas for Ghana is in energy. And Ghana has a comparative advantage when it comes to energy production. Our first president was the first to establish the Akosombo Hydroelectric Dam, which is a 1,020 megawatt hydroelectric power plant. We have subsequently had other hydro plants, including the Pong hydroelectric power plant and then the Bui hydroelectric power plant. So there are 3 of them. But after a while, we realized that these hydro plants were not enough to supply the energy needs of Ghana. And so we went into thermal production. The good news is that once we went into thermal production, side by side, we discovered huge quantities of oil and gas. And we took a decision to utilize the gas for power production. And so we have a gas to power policy. And so our thermal plants are being run on gas. We're bringing new gas fields into operation. And because we're members of the West African Power Pool, our energy transmission systems are interconnected with our neighboring countries. And so any excess of power we're able to produce, we can evacuate and sell to our neighboring countries, because we have a comparative advantage when it comes to power. Our cost is much lower than they can produce it themselves using fuel oils. Ghana has 3 important ports. One is the old Tema ports. There are 2 ports in Tema, if for most people don't know that. We have the old port that was built by President Kwame Nkrumah, which is a smaller one. And recently we built a much bigger port, which is the MPS port. So there are 2 ports in Tema. And then we also have the port in Takrady. Currently, the port in Tema, the MPS port, is one of the best performing ports in Africa. And it is able to accommodate the largest cargo ships that exist in this world. This year, about 3 of those cargo ships, the largest in the world, have berthed in Tema to lighten, because we have a deep draft, and so they're able to come into Tema and lighten the cargo before they move to our sister ports in Nigeria, Apapa, Lomé, and Cote d'Ivoire. We also have an important area, which is digital economy and skills. And like Simon said, Ghana has a very young population, English speaking, and they're very smart and quick to upskill in any areas: robotics, AI, fintechs. The fintech sector is one of the fastest growing in Ghana than in any other African country. And so GIPC sold itself. It says it will fast track your approvals. And so any investor who wants to come, your first port of call is the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. And once you go, they would lead you and fill out all your company registration forms, get you your tax identification number and everything. And Simon said in 24 hours. And so I'm holding him to that promise. Any of you who comes and he goes beyond 24 hours, just report him to me. I talked already of the Volta Economic Corridor, and so we are looking for anchor businesses to take advantage of that. We also have the opportunities for mitigating your risk by doing PPPs. That is, government will partner with you to invest if you are interested. We currently do not provide sovereign guarantees in terms of borrowing, but our guarantees are that your business, will be protected and will not be expropriated. We also have blended finance for huge projects, and so that is available. We have local partnership, and as you were told, some of our big businessmen are here, and so setting up joint ventures with Ghanaian businessmen who know the terrain and would be something that is useful. And so I invite you to pilot with that. Select any of the areas, if it's automotive, if it's agro-processing, it is investment in green transition. You can join us and partner to be able to do that. You can use Ghana, as I said, as your West African hub and locate your regional office in Ghana or your production line in Ghana for export into the sub-region. You can also invest with our universities and vocational institutions to establish training centers that will be tied to whatever investments that you want to do. Ghana is a land of opportunity, and many nationals from all over the world are investing in Ghana. As I said, we wish to, because of the discipline, quality standards, and industrial wisdom that Japanese businessmen have, we wish to encourage Japanese businessmen to look towards Ghana.
All right, indeed, the president of the lands called Japan, no? Ambassador Kojucho, a lead delegation, no? Until we NPP near, almost say the investment opportunity at President the Kwafa, that is what you need to discuss, because it's Ghana we want to develop. But as in when you look at what the president actually said, that he made mention of education, tourism. It's like something that we need to develop very well in Ghana. That is going to bring in more inflows of foreign cash. Technology, so President Assafuah, agro-business and agro-processing, industrialization, technology, getting the youth, because we are teaming youth now who are ready to work. We need more opportunity to flow into the country. We NPP now, so we won't. But right now, Kwanya President Assafuah could do so. It's what you are discussing. That is what you want Ghanaians to talk about. But rather, not what the president is going to bring on board the country, in shaping the destiny of the country. That is not your focus. That is not your target. Member of Parliament, or lawyer near Sebi, onim adeko efe the search warrant, a question why and as to how the president traveled to Japan. Think as every Ghanaian is stupid. That is what NPP for me, because they think say yeah being a nyejuma. But there's a Ghana for tun tesukoko that chiro mamumo was debi abieno a yejuma. We are not going to talk about how the president got there. What the president is going to bring is what is more important to the Ghanaian, especially the youth in a yepe juma yeno. And for the first time in my history, Kwaku Baako eka sembi maybe a twem, and I still do agree with Kwaku Baako. Say see about presidential jet one sema a champon time a BC Rollins time a BC Kufuor time a BC John Mahama time a BC and to see a bit me depoliticize the presidential jet and other things na and can beje. Yeah, I do agree with him for the first time Kwaku Baako, and then in documents on the buy and I do agree with him Kwaku. I do agree 100% with Kwaku Baako on this. Documents man no. Hey, Ghana's here in Samabaho. And to Kwaku Baako in 2021, and making this particular call, which I do 100% agree with him, because as a president, they call ye miss and was a DN or the Kwaba. As a president, and nothing Kwana said. Ghana for serious. NPP for because we are building a better society. That is how we need to build a better society for our nation. NPP for the
Jimmy for party job. What's
the NPP again?
A Jimmy for party.
Wow. And we need to focus as a nation. We need to focus and target, because president, if you ever be a president in a leading delegation, I go to Japan, if Japan or Singapore, I go pay investors abaminum. Or see the limits near the 2 sika so how the baby investor Ghana. The president account say, well, yeah, free. So any business person behind you can come back to Ghana and invest. If I show you Ghana near of me, now you also believe in things that you also have investment opportunities somewhere between investors about Ghana. The doors and the corridors is opened. Bring them on board and let's develop the nation. That is what we all want to do. So for this is the debate with Munufie. Medin any William Munufie Amankona. I present issues and data. I build it upon and then build a better society. Because the president say you are the largest man-made lake in Ghana. We can develop it. Because our lake, the president can say maybe he bet him the tourism about. He bet me expand the area agree on irrigation, textiles. He bet me establish a lot of companies or tourism recreational facilities, a lot of things. Oh, that man-made lake no. What are we as Ghanaians using it for? Instead of a member of parliament thinking this direction, sebe nkwasi asem ena odwen ho agana ye me de yenyi atra ntebusia for me enko yenim so what question be bisa me you have the opportunity to ask me any question that you think say you have but me boss na fi de mere bia no me ne onyina atenam na ya bobo mu pepepe enti none like Jesus JDM is the second coming of Kwame Nkrumah. I believe in and I trust in that because if you heard the direction of Kwame Nkrumah de Ghana koyena is becoming clear that is the same direction His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Edi Ghana ko and then the NPP for no baby you see as a people it's a minima and this ye to see me party amade a enye me party ama enye that be Ghana na nyina chichire Ghana ene nyina chichire ni okay say you are good to analyze things you're too good to analyze things me that say oh yeah there that's a pa that is how I've been doing my presentation because I present issues, I analyze it when I have to listen because political actors, they make utterances with choice of words. And one thing about me as a person, they say, let me make it a bit larger. Now, maybe I can say this thing straight away. Because when you watch this particular channel, I do things differently than others because I have done my bachelor in tourism studies. I did bachelor in tourism. And then I also have a master's degree in tourism as well. And then I have done tourism as well from bachelor to master's degree. I also have that. So I know how to develop tourism industry very well. I also have master's degree in international relations. And then I also did a bit of studies to become a diplomat. That is what I also decided to do. Then after that, I did law. And then I also have a master's degree in law. So when I analyze issues, I know how to analyze issues and I take my time. That is why I don't insult. And I'll hear me say, oh, so something like that. I take my time to do a lot of things. That is why I've been doing that. Now, before I'm about to go down on this today in the Bible, but there is something I want us to discuss. Oh, you know, be a funny rough. Echo Rich Hospital or so. Any nurses and any nipa bi kunya encounter bi wo ho. And then that thing seems to be taking a political twist. So some people are saying, say, because whilst NDC was in opposition, Raf was demonstrating a favor NDC, you know, a NDC for Natete Raf, Amana Bedu say, it has taken a political twist. And that is the truth. Because Ghana, we need to understand, say, sometimes there are serious issues in the society. It's to say, be addressed as Ghanaians, you know, near turning your politics. Rafu Babiada, I've never met him. I don't even know him. When he was demonstrating, he was arrested. I have no idea what he was doing. I don't follow those kind of things because the only thing I know is, oh yeah, Ghana developing Kwanda. I don't have any problem with you. I don't have any issues with that. But I also do follow, and I say, in a way, agree with Obi or person or effective change in our society. I've listened to Raf. And I've listened to the nurses. If I told you any kind inti nurse and ask can say, if besides a DNA course, I brought Raf Kohono, yinti answer nurse and Edemae. When I come back, I'll explain something to you.
When he came in, he wanted us to leave everybody and attend to him. So we explained to him. Raf. Okay. We explained to him. And then he was like, he wouldn't sit down. And my intern told him to get a card, a hospital card. He said, why should he get a hospital card? Because his name must be in the system. Once his name is tied in the system, it should everything should pop up. And my intern said, no, it's not done like that in Ghana. There he was angry because he was told it's not done that. That is not done in Ghana. And he started insulting us. We don't want Ghana to progress. Then he brought out the phone. But initially, I did a pressure dressing for him. Okay. In his finger that he said it was bleeding. It had bled. Okay. The blood had dried. Okay. So I just had to put a gauze on it so that we reassure him. Okay. He wasn't happy about it, so he took off the dressing I did for him. Okay. Then I approached him and I told him that I've done a dressing for you, so be patient. We have 2 trauma cases and other cases too are there. We want us to leave them. he got angry and he started yes. So he did this to me. And then when he went out, I don't know where the guys came from. Most of the health workers saw them earlier, so they had flee. I didn't see them. And then they, from my back to my chest, and then they were just...
Did they push you? Were you pushed? Or what did they do? What did they do to you?
Yes, I was hit. I don't know if it was a fist, a tap. I can't describe the...
But what happened to your hands?
Raphael, I don't know, Raph did this to me. He hit me with the phone with the fist. And I even dodged a couple of the fists. They hit me
all over.
But right now I have a dislocation on my shoulder and some headaches and...
Yeah, some more kind of. I was say the question say sometimes I laugh. Oh, say Ghana, we trained criminals in the society. Assemble as you hear the substance of assembly. Then they play politics. Well, how next na chichire nesa a chichire ne kon ya de manya no. Me minim say throw no odi. Throw no odi. I say NPP for an ye call about what ye pium kakra we say when they were coming to the conference. Well, how no ma chichire o manam e bi na nurse na ye no. Ralph say I don't minim Ralph baby. I don't. Also or hospital wa mo kan che say onko no no mu mo yare no. Enko no onko to Adia man sana momotim that children is also no say I don't know money na mon fan come bail home and that's and ensues that kind of disturbances a cause no. Emma nurse na ka say Ghana mpanyi for no e chrono corruption into mon to nema kwan farm hospital. Instead of addressing the poor healthcare system in the society no abet die politics. Nipa yare at the hospital and as obi yare ko hospital na mo de mo so ono ankasa nko no nko to cutting and addressing. We are not addressing that issue as a people, but rather now the mere person said, Ralph, I politics, I'm gonna favor NDC, and I said, why demonstration? I'm gonna favor NDC. It has twisted into a political system. So, ebeto, what if wow, we NPP near one year, no, Obeko hospital, the Bibayo. In my back Ghana, Eddie, Aqualako hospital, Edina bench, so anybody in you. Very, very bad healthcare system. Me de mian kasa me maame akọ hospital a yedena to hospital bed so a bed sheet eni so I asked them how many bed sheets. I'm saying this Techima Holy Family Hospital because me fit Techima I send my mother there Holy Family Hospital emergency yedena to bed no so with a bed spread. Maybe someone say why are you laying here on the bed without anything without pillow without bed spread or anything. So many be. Me de nipa akọ hospital a I have to carry the blood, no, the sample from where, hey, Bagana is dangerous. Now, wouldn't be. Nurse and also Rafa Bono. This is the footage. Remember, oh, hospital and Casa in the way. What the way? Now, be who you mean Casa in the way. Nurse no jina has a Ralph Kobono so koja defini nsem no. Or the same person na chichichiri nenza say yakunu no.
Body pain.
Into your hands.
Raphael, I don't know. Raph did this to me. He hit me with the phone with the fist. And I even dodged a couple of the fists. They hit me
all over.
But right now I have a dislocation on my shoulder and some headaches and body pain.
Anyway, Ghana no your words against my words. Meaning na dey no kre. Obi a video we say we hitting we so footage from the hospital no just say ya hetel. So anyway, I don't want to judge. Me nye judge. Eko quarter. But my point is say enye bibia NS a take a political twist in the system. Mama yenka asem no. Mama yenka asem because bad and improper healthcare system in the Ghana no. And then I say yeka. Imagine what else we are to hospital and no be who. Obi or him or the Holy Family Hospital. Patients at that from a bike or what? Yeah, they say paper, cardboard that set from there, not to so. It's a minimum. We are not addressing these kind of things, but Obi Koka, they are turning up in the politics. When I speak ill against the system organ, it will take a political twist because somebody will say, we were NDC, and that's why he's talking like that. And he's saying, to say we are not addressing national issues, but rather it takes political twist. Anyway, that is what we're gonna do. As to what happened there, I mean, hobby. But footage, I remember who, and I'm a nurse and also say abono. It could do what we're going to assess all these kind of things. But Mr. Ghana for we should not let everything that happens on the country, and I say in our country, they take a political twist. No man take a political twist. A basana, nya a proper answer na ye no. And that is my problem here. Enti abusafo ene me de besi we ha na nyame ya adoma ochena same time e be san ato so na afide yedi nkomo no abom anyesa yenya asamlokre na nka enti Ralph maybe also reactionary call ho no anya de I don't know why you decided to go and do those kind of things but say ubetimi asesa along the pointer e be boa anyesa Ghana no Kwame Nkrumah wanted to fight the system no he was imprisoned. Sana system. Rollins Munyina is a fighting system. No, they suffered the same fate. One way, do you be pushed? Now, for the Edward to baby, as I say, just photos. We be able to go there. Me that say. Meaning, was asking me about a nyomna media. I believe that Raskuku nyomna okano Ghana. Me I just said Raskuku because I've been playing Raskuku and I said Kwesi Swat nyom. So I don't know which one you were asking me about, but I think that is how I've been doing this particular show. And then me debesi we ha. Ni Okaiko will say, please, what is the name of the one who played the reggae song you use as your jingle? Ni Okai, I think it's either Raskuku and I say Kwesi Swat because I've been playing 2 reggae music here, and so I don't know the one actually you're talking about. But me tabo Raskuku because me pe Raskuku as a when Kwesi Swat, so and one particular one also me there. Enti me da was say we bisa. That means you'll be listening and watching me very, very carefully. Me that's it. Enti ene me debesi we ha na nyame adom ochena. I'll be back on the show. This is the debate with the Munufie. Me di any William Munufie amankona. Wa onya amrehwe me bia the truth, chiti chata, Emily, no bab, just photos, ma Priscilla, why are they? Nyina mo me do bi ase. Wa mantima mo odin so ya na mesro. O de ache me na nyame adom a ochena same time. Oni mentina ye ba be ka no kure no say na mmeri bia. You can that is how I've been doing it. Me do bi ase. Bye-bye.
Release this Black Prophet alongside Raskuku.
Aye. Cuckoo. Cascades on it.
Me my Madagana. Africa na mi free Madagana. Mi pe wo musu ye kama. Nyami achache dienti yem tu ozana.
Da chinchili mayo. Enuntina ye breyo.
Yenja suya. And yes, I that's your best say you. Red, gold, and green. Me who wanna my feet. Love is the key. Love one another, that's the thing. Ghana na me free. Me mine. Ghana na me do. Me mine. Me need baby I call. Me mine. Me mine Ghana. Ghana na me show. Me mine.
Ahaya na me bo. Me need baby I call. Oh. Me mine Ghana. Ghana na me free.
That's where I might come from. Why me come my ass and to fight it, but can't tell where them fight it. Don't you see, don't you feel it?
You okay, me that's it. Away from Raskuku. Me mine. You know the title, no? Me mine.
Jimmy for party job.
What's your baby then?
A Jimmy for party.
A Jimmy for party in the Anonia Dodo. Now, Jimmy for party now, we'll get out to young baby.
I hear na me ba, me ni baby ako, me mine Ghana.
Jimmy for party job.
What's your baby then?
A Jimmy for party.
Asunjia me wanu me come na kule neke. Ti me ba hu bai mai, chiri man so abehwe.
Mo kware ne ti. Wa sia o pepe tie.